بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين وبعد. There's not a person in this room, in fact in the city or even in the world, who experiences some form of discomfort, anxiety, stress, challenge, in any form. It could be sickness of yourself, of your loved one. It can be the loss of life, the loss of job, an argument, stress at work, stress at home, the desire for something you can't get. There's 101 different things that can occupy our minds and really bring us down. And one alim put it so beautifully. He said, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends something your way, whatever it may be. I get a call from my boss who says, our team is doing good, but the finances aren't that great. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to let you go. You have 2 months notice. I'm involved in a business. I've invested so much. After 3-4 months, I look at my returns and I actually have a loss. My mother's been sick for a long time. The doctor sends me an email and says, oh, we hate to say this, but you should come quickly. Your mother doesn't look like she's going to make, anything. Like these things really break us. And one alim said it so beautifully. He said, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sends a test your way, oftentimes people say, is this a punishment from Allah? Is Allah punishing me? I had a relative, one of my aunts, she called me the other day and something's happening in her life and she says, she's speaking to me in Bangla and she's just telling me, I don't understand. Why is it that Allah is punishing me? So this comes in people's minds that, we're being punished for things. And one alim said it so beautifully. He said, whether you're being punished or not is not the question. When Allah sends something your way, is it a punishment? There's a very simple question you need to ask to figure out whether it's a punishment or it's a blessing. If something happens to me and it makes me turn to Allah, then it's a blessing. If something happens to me and I turn away from Allah, it's a punishment. I'm going to repeat that again. Some difficulty is happening in my life. I have someone who is in my job place, coworker, he's discriminating against me. I'm really struggling in my job, my business, whatever the case may be. Now because of this, I'm not praying my salah, I'm not reading my Quran, I'm being mean with other people, I'm being harsh with other people, I don't feel like reading Quran, I'm not making dua. Now, what happened in my life is an adhab, it's a punishment. Because these tests are meant to bring us closer to Allah, not further from Allah. But let's say something happens to me. I'm at work and somebody is bullying me, somebody is being unfair to me, somebody is discriminating me, I lost my job. I'm struggling in my family. I'm struggling with the sickness. I get news that somebody I love passes away. And then I start making dua. I start turning to Allah. I start seeing what happened in my life. I start giving sadaqah. I start reading Quran. I start becoming a better person. I start watching my tongue. This is never an adhab. This is a blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's very similar to somebody who's driving their car. You're in the highway and then you see your check engine light. Now, somebody could sit in the car, look at the check engine light and say, oh no, this is just an adhab. No, it's a warning that right now your car is still fine, nothing's happened. You better stop and go check a mechanic. You start driving another 100 miles, then it could be an adhab. You're driving and you see the tire sign. You smell something and you're like, yeah, it's fine, I'm just gonna carry on driving. You carry on driving, that warning is meant to let you stop. Stop in your tracks, call AAA, do whatever you need to get a mechanic. You check out your tires, everything is fine, mashallah. But you're like, yeah, it's fine, don't need to worry about it, just carry on. You carry on going, then it's going to be an adhab. But if you react positively, it's a warning and blessing from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In our lives, we often get those little signs and indicators that's saying, slow down, watch yourself, you're turning away from Allah, come back onto the deen. We should never look at those signs and say, yeah, this is just an adhab. Let's never have that negative mentality. Let's have a positive mentality. that Allah is warning me of something greater and I should fix myself early. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all difficulties in our lives easy, and may these be signs of us returning to Him and not turning away from Him. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Jazakumullah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.